After all of that with my dad and all those relationships ending, I can't say I did get into relationships that I shouldn't have been in. And that's easy to do. Quite frankly, I felt like I wore the letter D on my chest for divorce in the Christian world. And that's hard because I don't think it's intentional, but they don't know necessarily how to deal with people in the church that go through these things, because maybe they were in the church together and then they're out. And now, like, what do we do? And literally, I felt like I was marked with this letter D, and that it's very easy to feel like you don't belong. And maybe I did, but I didn't get the feeling that I did. Yeah. The friendships you have with married couples, you no longer have. And to some degree, that's understandable because you have to watch the boundaries with that. So I was lonely. I was extremely lonely. I had decided that summer that I was going to take things off of the table in dating and that I was going to honor God. And that even makes things more lonely.
When you're bouncing from relationship to relationship, you're lonely in a different kind of way, meaning like the relationship might not be that deep, right? Like it's kind of surface level. If you're not having sex, you are literally alone. You have to keep the boundaries up. You're not chilling at somebody's house, watching TV more than likely, or not very often, and definitely not late at night. Like you literally have to be alone a lot.
You can try that, but it probably won't work.
Yeah, it won't work for long. Spooning leads to forking, as I often say. But no, you're right. So it's a whole different kind of loneliness. It's like they're both lonely on some level. You're literally alone.
Yeah, in everything.
Just your sexuality, really.
So after I decided to do that, that changed things. It changed my relationships. Even I got a message that, you're a Christian in a sense that I'm not. And, the word of God is very clear on what defines those that belong to him. And one of those things is not having sex outside of marriage. I mean, that's a God idea that has nothing to do with my opinion. It's what he says. And I thought to myself, wow, you're not worth my eternity. So if I kept doing things that I know he says to pick up your cross and follow me, then how am I his when I repetitively keep doing the same thing? So many things ended. And I was literally like, just lonely was an understatement. That doesn't even describe it. It was just like, really hard. My kids would go to their dad's house for the weekend, and a mom of 5 kids in the house to herself then is just literally like you're on an island. And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind being on an island by myself every now and again, but not every other weekend.
I went through it too. Mine was not quite the same with kids. 6 years of just hell. And the thing is the loneliness and the boredom is a recipe for bad things to happen, because
it is.
People aren't going to sit around and suffer forever. Eventually they're going to do something they shouldn't do.
Agreed.
To relieve the pain. It's a big problem that I don't think the church understands. They don't understand how bad it is if you're an older single person, divorced or never married. And even if you're not in the church, let's just say you're trying to get sober, or maybe you're, trying to make better decisions, become the best version of yourself, as we like to say. There's really not a whole lot of options out there, things to do that are fun. And that was like the big thing for us. It's like, why do they have to be exclusive? Why does doing the right thing and enjoying life have to be separate? It shouldn't. Actually, we should be having more fun than those people, because they're going to crash and burn.